So shorten the drone tip. I'm using the Freewell long exposure filters. I've got a professional photographer here tonight because you know me. You know.
Oh, you mean me?
Yes, you, Steve, because there, obviously when you're using these, you know, you need to know obviously a little bit about the camera itself on the drone. Now obviously with long exposure, I'm thinking about as a photographer with a tripod, a couple of seconds to get that movement right. Now tonight we've got a nice bit of a waterfall, which is a bit unusual for where we live in Mercia region. Don't usually get waterfalls, so we're lucky to have that. I'm going to set the drone up. I'm going to go through it with you to show some of the settings you're going to need to do to get this right. So let's get on with it. So while we're waiting for the drone to warm up, what I've fitted on is the ND512. We did try the ND2000 tonight, but it's just too dark. Obviously, another hour and the sun's going to be gone, so we've used sort of in between. Right, so what I'm going to do now is turn on the screen record. Screen record's on. So the screen record's on. The drone should be ready to take off now, shouldn't it? Are you going to...
Yeah. I'll let you do that.
Okay. What was that then? Electricity?
No. Yeah, just in case it don't work.
Okay. So we'll just take the drone off. Obviously I waited for the home point to be set. Whoops. So what we do first is we get the drone over to where we want it to be. So at the moment I've got it in auto. I will change that in a moment. I just want to get that drone set up as much as I can. Obviously the sunlight's on the drone at the moment, so just drop that drone down a bit. Right, so I just got to bring that drone over a little bit more. Right, so you can just start to see the waterfall effect now. So I'll just drop that drone down a little bit more. Now you can see already, now this is, don't forget guys, this is on auto. So first of all, Steve told me you need to change the white balance. Because usually... when
No, you don't need to change the white balance.
You don't need to change it?
Not to do this, no.
Okay.
But the auto white balance isn't great on... it's more of when you're filming, because if you're filming and you're zooming round, or like going round,
yeah,
the white balance change when you're moving.
So it's not necessary we need to show how to do the white balance? No, okay. So what we're going to do then, we're going to change the auto to Pro. Right, so we're in Pro now. Let's be quite honest. We got, so on the screen at the bottom there, you can see we've got it on 1 second and the f-stop's 1.7. Do you think that looks pretty good?
Yeah, it's pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, so we'll just do a quick focus point at the middle there. Don't forget also to keep it on photo. You want to do videos and just take a photograph. And also guys, it's a good idea to have it on JPEG and RAW, but it's not necessary because I know a lot of you don't have maybe photo editing stuff, so JPEG is fine, but if you've got the software like Photoshop, then it is handy to have it in JPEG and RAW. So we're going to change that, make that maybe a little bit darker, and by pressing on it, one run, right, here we go. So we're going to move the shutter to 2 seconds.
Brighten it up.
Brighten up a bit.
Yeah. Don't forget where ISO is 200 as well at the moment.
Yeah, so if you notice at the top there, usually the ISO I always have it on 100, but we've moved it to 200. So if we moved it, say, to 100, so that looks fine, doesn't it? Yeah. So we'll just focus point that. We'll press the shutter. Okay, so what we'll do now, we're gonna check this in the album so you can actually see it on screen what you've just taken. So we come out up in the end mode. Down at the bottom left is the album, and it will come up with the photographs you've done tonight. Now I've obviously done a couple before showing you this, guys. Now, so this is the latest one. So this is the one that was done on 2 seconds. And this one was the one that was 1 second.
But with a 200 ISO.
With a 200 ISO. Yeah, that's right. So the other one, this one here was 100 ISO at 1 minute, 1 second. And this one was 200 ISO at 2 seconds.
Yes.
Yeah. And these we've done just before we made the video. To be honest, that looks better, doesn't it?
Does look better,
doesn't it?
Yeah.
So.
But you're a bit further away, I think, on that one.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. Maybe what I'll do, I'll bring the drone in a bit closer. So I mean, it's always good to check on the screen anyway, just to see how the photographs will come out. So you go back into Go Fly, and what we'll do, we'll bring the drone a little bit closer in. And obviously, it's going to warn you if it gets too close.
Yeah. Trying to get your spray there as well.
Yeah. Right, that'll do. So I mean, that's a nice shot.
Yeah.
So just focus that point in, maybe that bit there. Okay. So that was on 2 seconds. So we'll do 1 second as well. So we go back in, change that to 200
and have 1 second.
When 1 second.
Yeah, and she should give you a similar exposure.
Yeah. I mean, it's all about experimenting, guys. And the EV is sort of going in and out there, isn't it?
Well, you can't change once you're in the pro mode.
Yeah.
You can't change the EV. The EV moves with your ISO and your shutter speed.
Yeah. I mean, and the other thing is, there is a bit of wind tonight, but that drone's pretty steady, as you can see on the screen there.
I told Jen not to do beat things.
So, I think that looks all right. So we'll just go back in, check the album, and
looks good.
Yeah, it looks good.
That.
Yeah,
do like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
That looks a bit blurred, that to me.
It might not download it properly.
But see, that one was done further back. Thinking about it, let's try and we'll go back a little bit more then.
What you're not doing, I don't think you're actually on the screen there.
Yeah.
Don't forget they're on the SD card on the drone.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So you might not be looking at the full quality on that.
No, that's true.
Because you haven't actually downloaded it.
Yeah.
You press the button there.
Yeah.
That's for to download them off the drone.
Yeah.
So you're only looking at a preview.
Yeah, it says low res.
Yeah.
Preview. So it's not the best way of doing it. What I'll do, I'll just come back slightly. Let's come out of that so we can see it on the screen. Wind seems to be picking up a bit now. Right, I'll bring it back a little bit more. And I'll drop that drone down a bit because you've got the top of the. That's better. Okay, so we've got all that. I'll just see if I can centralise that. That's a bit. That's it. Okay, so we got it on 1 second, 200 ISO. Take a shot. That looks pretty good. So, obviously, the next thing to do is get home, check it on the big screen, and if you want to mess about with it in RAW, you can. So yeah, I'm pretty pleased with that.
Yeah, looks good.
So what we do, we just get the drone back and have a quick chat at the end there. I mean, in the pack you've got numerous ND filters for the long exposure that go up to 2000. I'll put all that spill just below now to give you some idea of what's in that pack. But yeah, we'll just get the drone back. I was pretty impressed with that. I mean, when Freewell sent me these new lot of ND filters, long exposure, end stop, low pollution, gradient, golden blue. I always thought, oh, really? For a drone? I mean, I'm quite happy doing. I do enjoy taking photographs, but I'll be honest, I was pretty impressed with that.
Yeah.
You know,
and it's, to be honest, it's easy to do, isn't it?
Yeah. It is pretty easy to do. I mean, I'm not renowned for camera skills.
No, and long exposures.
And definitely not long exposures. I think I've always had a major problem doing long exposures on the camera, let alone a drone. So guys, give it a go. And as always, if you enjoy the vid, give it a thumbs up. If you don't enjoy the vid, give it a thumbs down.